that he had put her head on a shelf and screamed at it for an hour, threw darts at it, and ultimately smashed her face in. He also cut her tongue out and her larynx and put them in a garbage disposal.
Tell me in a sentence who you are.
I'm nobody. I'm a bum. I'm a boxcar and a jug of wine and a straight racer if you get too close to me.
Do you ever feel violent?
Yes, I do.
What do you feel like doing?
Killing people.
You still feeling killing people?
Yes.
Describe the feeling that you get when you feel like killing people.
Well, last March 11th, I was hallucinating, and I took a razor blade and I cut a man's throat.
Here in the hospital?
Here in the hospital.
Do you think you'd murder me, Joe?
Yes.
That's gruesome, Joe. That's horrible.
Yes, it is.
And you don't blame me if I say I hope you never get out of this place.
I hope I never do either.
Good evening, everybody. All you Murder Podcast Show fans. Welcome to another fantastic Saturday. Another fantastic Saturday here on the Murder Podcast Show. I, as always, am your host, also known as
I am the architect.
That's right, they call me the Architect. Unsafe Snuggie, welcome into the chat. We do appreciate everybody joining us tonight for another creepy episode here on the Murder Podcast Show. That is right. First of all, let me get things going here with the sponsors. As you can tell, Criminology Chris and Classroom Jackie are not here tonight. But that's okay. The show must go on. Okay, jump into some sponsors here. Do you need quality automotive repair and maintenance you can trust? Well, you can visit Mr. Wrenches of Akron, LLC, conveniently located across from Derby Downs. They are located on 1175 George Washington Boulevard in Akron, Ohio. They offer fast service, friendly customer care, reliable repairs, honest and professional work. Whether you need routine maintenance or repairs, we're here to help you. Keep you on the road. By appointment or walk-ins are welcomed. And you give Gage a call or stop by today. They are one of our newest sponsors that we have. So we do appreciate Mr. Wrenches sponsoring the show. Thank you for that. And we have, give me a second here. I'm never ready. Crafty Corner by Laura. Laura makes a wide selection of handmade crochet plushies, both cute and creepy. Animals, pop culture, fantasy, anime, and horror. They also specialize in custom orders like the Voodoo doll and the other various custom orders we have located here in the studio. You can follow her on Instagram at the.crafty.corner.by.Laura. That's right, as I always say, there are 3 dots in there. It's your responsibility to figure out where they go. Okay, so tonight I wanted to cover a pretty crazy one here. This came out of Columbus, Ohio, which from me here, it's probably almost 2 hours, hour and 45, something like that. So we are covering Chance Donahoe. Chance Donahoe, it's a crazy. There was one victim, which was his ex-girlfriend, and I've got some crazy video footage and stuff that this is a wild one. It's sad, It's got a crazy story to it there, but up on the screen, there's Chance in the middle, and that is his ex-girlfriend who he brutally, murdered over jealousy. So we will get into all of that, and there's a lot of mental, issues going on with Chance, and I'll play a video clip that will kind of jump more into that. But in the meantime, so I'll go ahead and get started here. Oh, and before I start, we got a couple of birthdays here. It was my girlfriend's birthday yesterday. Unsafe, she's here in the chat. So happy birthday once again to you. And Classroom Jackie's birthday is tomorrow. So we will give a round of applause to the 2 birthdays. And now I will go ahead and jump on in. So when people hear about murders like this, the headlines often focus on the killer, his name, his face, motive, but today we're going to begin somewhere else. Because before there was a murderer, there was a woman with dreams, friendship, and an entire future ahead of her. Her name is Shannon Hyatt. Oh, you're very welcome, Unsafe. She wasn't a headline. She wasn't a statistic. She was a daughter, a friend, a coworker, and someone whose life mattered deeply to the people around her. August 29th, 2023, that future was violently stolen inside of her own home in Columbus, Ohio. The man responsible wasn't a stranger hiding in the shadows. He was somebody she had once trusted, someone she had loved, her former boyfriend, Chance Donahoe. By the time the attack was over, Shannon had been stabbed more than 30 times. Prosecutors later said Donohoe had forced his way into her home after watching the residence and noticing another man's vehicle outside. After killing Shannon, he called 911 and he admitted what he had done and later confessed to investigators. He eventually pleaded guilty to the murder and gross, abuse of a corpse after receiving a sentence of life in prison with the possibility of parole after serving 31 years. But understanding what happened that day means understanding everything that came before it. Because tragedies like this rarely begin with a single moment. They begin with patterns, with warning signs, and with inability to accept rejection, and with an obsession that continued growing long after a relationship was done. So now kind of jumping into who his ex-girlfriend was, Shannon Hyatt. Family and friends remembered Shannon as someone who brought energy wherever she went. Following her death, loved ones described her as a beloved friend, a community member, music lover, co-worker, and someone who genuinely cared about the people around her. Those who knew her said she had an infectious personality and a kindness that made others feel welcome. The tragedy surrounding Shannon's death becomes even more heartbreaking because she had begun rebuilding her life. The relationship with Chance had ended. She was moving forward, making plans, trying to create distance from someone she no longer wanted in her life. Unfortunately, prosecutors say Chance refused to accept that. So their relationship, kind of getting into it. Public records indicate Shannon and Chance had dated for approximately a year and a half before ending their relationship. While many relationships end peacefully, this one reportedly did not. According to prosecutors, after the breakup, Shannon took multiple steps to protect herself. She blocked Chance from contacting her. She changed the locks on her home. She installed security cameras. When it came time to returning his belongings, she reportedly asked friends to do it instead of meeting him herself. Those are significant details. They're not typical things that you do post-breakup decisions, They're actions someone takes when they no longer feel safe. While we can't know every talk, or every mention that existed behind closed doors. Those documented actions paint a picture of someone attempting to establish clear boundaries and reduce contact with an ex-partner. Unfortunately, boundaries only work when they're respected. Investigators later alleged that Chance wasn't willing to let go. Instead, prosecutors said he began watching Shannon's home, monitoring, waiting, looking for signs that she had moved on. And eventually he saw something that triggered a deadly decision. That decision would forever alter dozens of lives. So I'll read this. This next part will jump into the night where everything went down, and then I'm going to play a clip that is the dispatch call going through, and it's painting this picture of what went down here, because Chance was not your typical murderer like some of these guys where they kill and then they hide, they stay quiet about it, silent. Investigators can't figure out who did it, and then they kill again and they keep doing it. So this is different on how he does this. It's wild. You'll see in the video clip here. So there are moments that forever divided a person's life into two chapters, before and after. For Shannon Hyatt, that moment came during the night of August 28th and the early morning hours of the 29th in 2023. By this point, Shannon had done what so many experts recommended after leaving relationship that no longer felt safe. She had ended it. She had blocked Chance phone number. She had blocked him on social media. She changed the locks in her home. She installed security cameras. She even avoided seeing him in person by having friends exchange his belongings. So, sorry. I thought I had, was reading the same stuff again. According to Franklin County prosecutors, Chance had begun watching her home. He wasn't there by accident. Prosecutors said he was outside the residence when he noticed another man's vehicle parked nearby. To investigators, that discovery becomes a trigger. Whether Shannon was beginning a new relationship or simply spending time with a friend ultimately wasn't the point. What mattered was that Chance believed she was moving on, and he refused to accept it. Sometime that night, prosecutors said Donohoe forced his way into Shannon's Columbus home. What happened next was swift and unimaginably violent. Court records state that Shannon was attacked inside the house where she should have been safest, her own home. Prosecutors later said she was stabbed more than 30 times. During sentencing, Assistant Prosecutor Dan described the attack as a fact fueled by anger over the breakup and by seeing a man's vehicle outside of the home. It wasn't a random act of violence. According to prosecutors, this was a targeted attack against someone who had chosen to end their relationship. So what happened after Shannon died made an already horrific crime even more disturbing. Prosecutors said Donohoe abused Shannon's body after the killing. They also stated that he screwed the front door shut with an apparent effort to delay the discovery of the crime. Allegations formed the basis for the change of the gross abuse of a corpse, to which he later pled guilty. Instead of fleeing indefinitely, instead of denying what he had done, he left. 911 call. After leaving Shannon's home, Donohoe drove north to his mother's home in Powell. From there, authorities said he called 911. During that call, he actually admitted that he had killed Shannon. Investigators later said he also confessed after turning himself in to police. The Columbus Division of Police reported that officers responded after receiving information about a deceased person and located Shannon inside of her residence suffering from fatal stab wounds. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Police also confirmed that Donohoe surrendered and admitted his role to her death. For investigators, there was little question about who had committed the crime. The confession, the evidence, and the scene itself all pointed to the same ending. So this is wild because not only does he call and he confess, but he's telling them on the phone that he's not mentally stable. And you'll see this on this video clip, but he's not mentally stable. And he says he's going to drive himself to the police station. You know, dispatcher's like, well, can't you just wait until police come to you? And he's like, no, I'm not mentally stable. If they do that and they draw guns on me, he said, I'm probably going to commit suicide by like a police attack or something. I forget. It's in the video on what he, exactly says. And then he goes to his house and he has the murder weapon and he's telling, dispatcher, she's telling him, put it somewhere because he's like, my, little brother's in the house and I want to set it somewhere where it's safe and he's not going to get to it. Well, then they tell him, set it on top of the fridge. And his mom is in the background too as he's doing this. And he's telling his mom, don't touch the murder weapon. Don't touch it. They don't want your fingerprints, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes, I'm now going to give my mom a hug before I go and turn myself in. And he's hugging his mom on the phone and he's telling her, I'm going to prison now. I mean, this is just way out in left field here. So, without further ado here, let me go ahead and bring that clip up. And we will get it going.
Would like to turn myself in because I'm very mentally unstable.
Okay. And what's going on there?
I murdered my girlfriend. You'll need to use forceful entry to get into the house.
Police! Yep, she's dead. She's right here. We got her.
And then I just lost control. It was almost like something else, like, possessed me. I got to spend time with the vessel that was Shannon, and I got to absorb her spirit. She said, are you kidding me? What the Chance? Stop. Wait, please stop. I'm dying. I love you. I love you. And then she didn't speak another word.
This is 27-year-old Chance Donahoe, who only hours earlier confessed to savagely murdering his ex-girlfriend in her Columbus home. But as investigators soon learn, violence was only part of a far more disturbing story, one fueled by control, betrayal, and delusions of power.
So are you, like, as we speak right now, are you feeling like you're God right now?
The following is based on official police records, and the footage has never been seen before. In the early morning hours of August 29, 2023, a chilling call comes into dispatchers at the Powell Police Department, and it's from Chance himself.
911, what's the address of your emergency? And your name?
My name is Chance.
Okay. And what's going on there?
I murdered my girlfriend. You'll need to use forceful entry to get into the house. I plan on taking myself to the police station after this phone call.
Do you want the police to come to you? Can they come to you?
I would like to turn myself in because I'm very mentally unstable, and I'm worried that I'm going to commit by cop if the cops come and pick me up. So I need to go into the station for my safety and the police officer's safety.
Well, do you want to go ahead and get in your car and go ahead and drive to the police department and I'll stay on the line?
Yeah.
Chance is confessing to murdering his 29-year-old ex-girlfriend, Shannon Hyatt. As he continues speaking with Powell Dispatch, the call is relayed to Columbus authorities, who quickly send officers to the address he provided.
Caller is in Powell on the phone and he's called your call. He's going to do it by cop in Powell. Why are we going to Berkeley?
With Columbus officers now en route to Shannon's home, Powell Dispatch continues speaking with Chance, hoping to gather more details.
Do you have any weapons on you, Chance?
I have the murder weapon with me.
Are you able to leave that in your apartment? I want you to leave that in your apartment, okay? I don't want you to take any weapons with you.
Okay.
What is the murder weapon?
It's a knife. Is there any way that I could put it somewhere where there's a child in the home and I don't want him to see it?
There's a child in your apartment?
Yeah, I live with my mother, and she's standing right next to me, holding me accountable for making this phone call. And I just don't want my little brother to see it. He's only 7 years old.
Okay, can we put the knife on top of the refrigerator?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I want you to put it on there, not your mother. I don't want your mother to touch it.
Okay. I'm going to put the knife on top of the fridge. Don't touch it at all. Okay? I'm going to give my mother one last hug before this all starts.
Okay. All right, go ahead and do that.
I'm going to go to prison now.
As police close in on his location, dispatch continues asking Chance questions, attempting to keep Chance stationary until units arrive. But the clock is ticking, and it's only a matter of time before he catches on.
Are you in your car?
Yes, I just
Okay.
turned on my car. Give me a
Okay.
second.
Stay
I can't
there,
really
right?
move my hand very well.
You're fine. Stay there for right now. I just want you to take a couple deep breaths, all right?
Okay.
How's your finger doing?
Can't really move it.
How
Yeah.
deep did it go?
I'm pretty sure it sliced the ligament.
It did.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to send a medic to you first?
No, I'll receive all my treatment at the jail, please, and thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. Where are you at in the lot just parked right in front of your apartment?
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I need to bring myself to you, and I don't want to be tricked into being picked up. And so I'm going to refuse to answer that, but I'm in my car. The car is started, and I will not disconnect this call until I reach the jail cell and you have spoken with an officer
Okay.
verifying that. I am not safe.
Okay.
I am not a safe person right now. And the safest thing is for me to turn myself in at a jail,
Okay.
not be picked up. Because if guns get drawn on me, I don't know what I'm going to do.
As the call continues, Chance leaves the apartment complex and begins driving. But Powell officers have found him, and they're closing in fast.
I left the apartment complex, but I need to pull over real quick and put the address in.
You left?
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you at?
There's a cop right behind me, and I
There
know that I'm being followed and everything. If you have this officer on dispatch, I need you to tell him to just follow me to the police station.
Can you just pull over and let him put you in the back so he can take you to the police station? It'd make it so much easier, Chance.
How?
It would just make it be done right now.
Okay.
Okay? Can you just pull
Okay.
over right now?
Yeah.
Thanks to dispatch stalling Chance's departure, officers were able to intercept Chance less than half a mile away from the address he left from. He turns at an intersection and pulls over into the Sheetz gas station, where the police make contact for the first time.
Can you make commands? Because you probably can't hear me on this side. Can you put both hands out the window for me?
I got both hands. Well, his hands are back in. Put your hands out. Keep them out. Keep your hands out.
Take one of your hands and open your car door. Open the door from the outside. Face away. Face away. Keep your hands above your head.
So yeah, that is that's just a lot of the, the call and the footage, and as I was stating, that's just wild. Just the fact that he had done that and called it in, said what he had done, that he's not mentally stable, and that he wants to drive himself into the police station. And his poor mother, yeah, lackadaisy, that dispatch worker needs an award in de-escalation. Yeah, because the fact that she talked him down out of wanting to drive himself in and to just let police do it. I mean, the way that the dispatcher stayed completely calm during that too. But yeah, the fact that he just, and that poor mother, as I was just stating, I couldn't even imagine. I mean, he's coming home back to his house. His mom and little, brother, who's like, what, 7 or 8, he said, is there in the house, and she has no clue what he had just done. And here he's coming in there, and she's probably like, what are you doing? Who are you on the phone with? And he's like, I just murdered Shannon, blah, blah, blah. I need to set this murder weapon on top of the fridge and give my mom a hug. I mean, that poor mother, oh my gosh, to go through that is just, I can't even, fathom that. As detectives processed the residence, they documented a brutal homicide scene. Evidence technicians took, photographs of every room. Investigators collected biological evidence, documented forced entry, and worked to reconstruct the sequence of what went on there. Meanwhile, family members were beginning to receive the phone call that every family dreads. The calls that instantly change lives. One moment, Shannon was simply a daughter, a sister, and a friend. The next, she was a victim in this crime, crime that had been committed. No family is ever prepared for that. No words can soften what just happened. As detectives continued building their case, prosecutors would eventually argue that this wasn't a spontaneous act caused solely by intoxication or circumstance. Instead, they described it as the accumulation of mounting anger over the breakup and Shannon's efforts to move forward with her life. In the months ahead, investigators would gather evidence, prosecutors would prepare their case, and Shannon's loved ones would begin the long wait for justice. But first, they had to bury someone that they loved and begin learning how to live without her. Following Chance's, when he was taken into custody, the focus of the investigation shifted from identifying a suspect to building a case that would explain not only what happened, but why. Detectives spent months reviewing physical evidence, documenting the crime scene, and complying statements. By this point, investigators had a confession, a documented timeline, and evidence collected from Shannon Hyatt's home. For Shannon's family, however, none of that could undo what had happened. Every hearing, every court date, every news story was another reminder that someone they loved would never come home. The Franklin County Prosecutor's Office charged Chance with murder. He was also charged with the gross abuse of a corpse based on prosecutors' allegations regarding his actions after Shannon's death. Rather than taking the case to lengthy jury trial, Donohoe ultimately entered a guilty plea to the charges. By pleading guilty, he accepted legal responsibility for killing Shannon, sparing her family from having to endure a full trial and relive every detail before a jury. While a guilty plea can bring some measure of finality, it does not erase the pain of losing a loved one. When sentencing day arrived, the courtroom became a place of accountability, but also remembrance. Prosecutors described the killing as a result of Donohoe's inability to accept the end of a relationship. They emphasized that Shannon had taken documented steps to protect herself after the breakup, including changing the locks in her home, like we stated before, installing security cameras, blocking Donohoe's communications, and avoiding direct contact by having friends return all of his stuff. Despite those efforts, prosecutors argued that he continued to focus on her and ultimately carried out a fatal attack after seeing another man's vehicle outside her home. The court heard that Shannon was stabbed more than 30 times. It was an act of extraordinary violence. And if you remember in that video that I just played, he had stabbed her so many times that it actually cut down into his finger, into the ligaments, like he said. I mean, that's crazy. You know, we've talked about it before on the show, but killing is definitely killing, you know. But when you kill somebody and you stab them, it's like intimate in a way, as they say. I mean, there's a lot more that goes into it. Somebody has so much hate that when they stab, it's on a completely different level than anything else. Don't get me wrong, all the killings and all that, whether it's gun, suffocation, stabbing, it's all horrible, horrific situations. But when you get into stabbing, especially over 30 times, there's a connection there that he is just, I mean, it goes into a whole nother level. It's just insane. Let's see. During the hearing, Shannon's family was given the opportunity to speak. Victim impact statements are among the most emotional moments in any sentencing hearing. They are not about punishment. They are about giving a voice to the people left behind. They speak about birthdays that will never be celebrated, holidays with an empty chair, phone calls that will never come, and plans that will never be fulfilled. For Shannon's loved ones, the sentence would never truly feel like justice because no amount of prison time could ever restore the future that had been taken from her. After considering the facts of the case and Donahoe's guilty plea, the judge sentenced him to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 31 years. For Donohoe, it marked the beginning of decades behind bars. Unsafe, yes. Anger, that is a lot. When it comes to stabbing, it's on a whole other level, as I was stating. It absolutely is. Brandon, welcome in. You missed the opening of the show. Damn it, he says. I'll give you a quick recap here, Brandon. This is Chance Donahoe in Columbus, and he has brutally murdered and stabbed his ex-girlfriend and stabbed her over 30 times because he got jealous that she had moved on and was with another man. So he broke into the home, killed her, attacked her, and then when he got out of the house, he screwed the door shut to make it harder for police to get in, and then he called 911 on himself and he actually confessed to what he had done, but then he said he was going to drive himself to the police station. And he did not want cops to stop him and pick him up because he's not mentally stable. And he feels like he will commit suicide by cop if they try to draw any guns on him. He then drives to his house where his little brother and his mom are, and he's on the phone with dispatch. I had just played the video a little bit ago. And the dispatcher calmed him down and told him to put the, knife up on top of the fridge. He then stated that he's going to give his, mother a hug one last time, and then told his mom he's going to prison. So that's a quick recap on where we are right now. He just got sentenced, and the judge gave him life in prison with the possibility of parole after 31 years, which I highly doubt he's going to get it. I can't see. I listen to, as a lot of you guys know, I'm obsessed with watching court trials, murder trials, and different things like that. But I also listen to a parole board hearing that is in Louisiana, and they have hearings where people want to come up and they want to get out on parole, and their parole date has come up. And it's, interesting. It's crazy to hear some of these people, and a lot of them get approved. They get out on parole and stuff, but they have certain, things they have to, follow, whether it's attend AA and different things like that, if they are going to get granted parole. But it's also, you hear a lot of them that don't get it. And it's crazy to hear some of the stories when they have the people speak on what the crime was, whether it's 30 some years ago, 40 some years ago. And I recently heard a guy that was on there, and he got granted parole, and he was in his 80s now, and he had been in prison for like I don't know, like 50 some years, and he got granted parole, and he's got to go live back with his, daughter and stuff. And I forget exactly what his crime was, but it's wild to hear some of these people's stories and how some of them have really changed. And then they have the wardens usually come on there and say, oh yeah, they've changed. They're doing better now. They're really making a good, a lot of people in prison look up to them, and they're teaching welding or, carpentry, building trades. Um, yeah, this guy should have got the death penalty. The only thing is, though, Brandon, is I'm pretty sure here in Ohio, I don't think we have the death penalty anymore because our governor that we just had, which he's, I think, ending his term now, he does not believe in the death penalty, unfortunately. But I think that's why he did not get it. So good old Ohio here. But yeah, so, but I agree with you, Brandon. He should have got it. So, remembering Shannon, cases involving intimate partner violence often leave people asking the same question: why didn't she just leave? In Shannon's case, the public record shows that she did. She ended their relationship. She blocked the contact. She changed the lock. She installed, cameras, everything that we talked about. She took practical steps that experts often recommend when someone fears an ex-partner may not respect boundaries. Yet, even though everything that she did, precautions she took to try to stop, and he was still determined to commit, violence. That reality is one of the hardest truths about intimate partner killings. Responsibility never lies with the victim. The responsibility rests solely with the person who chose violence. So as we close today's episode, we want to remember Shannon Hyatt, not for the way her life ended, but for the life she lived and the people who continue to love and miss her. If there's one lesson to take from this case, it's that the obsessive behavior, controlling tendencies, refusal to accept a breakup, stalking, and repeated boundary violations should always be taken seriously. Those behaviors are warning signs that deserve attention and support. And it's so true. It's so true. I mean, but Shannon, just along with like everybody else that gets in situations like this, unfortunately, they probably don't think that their ex is even capable or would even think of committing something like this. She probably didn't think that it would go this far, and so she probably thought taking all the precautions that she took, like we stated multiple times, was probably the best that she could do, and she figured that she was safe inside of her own home. She's lucky that whoever was visiting at the time too, that they didn't get it as well. I mean, it's devastating and it's sad that she was killed, but Chance saw another vehicle in the driveway for a different guy, but also too, like I had stated, we don't know if that was her moving on or if that was just a visit from a friend. We don't know, but Chance didn't care. That was a, trigger for him. And as he stated, he's not mentally stable. And I truly do believe in a lot of ways that he's not. I mean, a lot of these killers, they say that they want to plead in, sanity and they're not mentally stable and yada, yada, yada. But I truly, really do believe this guy had mental, issues going on beyond what was on the surface. I mean, to call and say I had committed this crime, I killed my ex, I'm now going to take myself to the police station, and I don't want cops to stop me, and then to go to your home where your poor mother is and your little brother, who's like 7 or 8, is in that house, and it just, he was not all there. I mean, anybody that kills they're not all there because it's a completely different mindset. And you got to have a really messed up mind to even think of doing that shit. But it goes beyond that with Chance. I mean, by far. So yeah, I wanted to hit this story. Unsafe had brought this story to me, and she's brought quite a few really, really good ones to me too as well. Start calling her the queen of bringing me the, really good cases. But it's just wow. Once I dug into it and dove into this, it's just a crazy story. I mean, yeah, a lot of people that we cover, they've killed multiple victims and stuff like this, but sometimes also we cover these murders where they've killed one person, which is just as devastating killing one period. I mean, as it is killing a bunch. I mean, because killing's killing. It's, bad, horrible, as we all know. But this just had, and then when he's sitting there, investigators ask him, "Do you feel like you're God right now? Feel like you're God and you're high and mighty right now?" And he's just like, "Well, yeah." Like, I just, they should have done some, psychological testing on his brain. Because it's just crazy. Jane Wise, welcome into the chat. Good evening. But yeah, it's insane what these crimes that he had, or this crime that he had committed. And like I said, I highly doubt when he comes up for parole after 31 years, and it's going to be a while because this happened in 23. So he's only been in for 3 years now. When he comes up for parole, I don't see him getting it. There's just no way. Once the parole hearing board looks at this and the facts and the whole case, I highly doubt he's going to get parole. Why would you put this guy out there again? So what, he can get into a different relationship and that sets him off, or something else, triggers him when he's out and about? I mean, no. There's just no way. I don't see it. I could be wrong, but I just don't see him getting parole. Per usual, I forgot to say it in the beginning, but if you guys don't already, please do like, subscribe, and share this out. As I always tell you, click the subscribe button and click the little bell, notification bell. What that does is that will notify you every time we are going to go live here on YouTube, which is every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, numbers do keep climbing. We do appreciate everyone all over the world and in different countries that do support the show and listen to it. Right now, we are trending pretty decently in the UK besides the United States. So we do appreciate everyone all over the world that does support the show. Other than that, I am going to get on out of here for the night, off the show here, move to my living room. It's a far move. It's about, 10 feet. But anyways, we do appreciate everybody that does support the show, follows it, likes it, shares it out every single week. We do appreciate it. We will post sometime during the week who we are going to cover next week. I do not know yet. We'll get there. We will figure it out. Other than that, though, we do hope that everybody enjoys the rest of their Saturday and the rest of their weekend and has a fantastic week next week. So other than that, I'm going to get out of here, and we will see you guys next week. Have a good night, everybody.